Hi, and welcome to M&M Reviews. My name is Rita,
My name is Mirage.
and we are back with our next review of the newest WandaVision episode because we are just so excited about WandaVision.
We literally just finished watching it like 20 minutes ago, and wow, what an episode first. Like, if anyone watches this and let me do you a favor and say that there's a post-credit scene. So, if you haven't, if you didn't catch that, because we just caught it by sheer brute luck, because usually we don't watch through the credits, but this time we did. And there was a post-credit scene, so just, go and watch that post-credit scene first, because, man, it's a lot going on. So, what are your reflections, Rita? What are your thoughts?
I feel like every episode of the show is way too much, and I don't know how I'm supposed to handle this much excitement.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I really like how this episode kind of shifted the action back kind of into Wanda's world, so it's not instead of it just being this Wanda versus the outside, now it's all the action, there's a lot of action going on inside Westview. So I really like that because I think that's just more fun.
I can't believe there's only 2 episodes left. I just because I feel even though we got a lot in these episodes in terms of I don't know, filling in the plot, with the Agatha Harkness reveal, which all the internet had seen coming, but still, it was nice to get that confirmed. It's still what's gonna happen in the last 2 episodes. I feel we have gotten a lot of our questions answered, but still there's so many questions that remain.
Okay, so what questions got answered?
Well, I think you can answer this thing that Agnes is really Agatha the Harkness. That get answered. It also get answered that Wanda isn't fully in control, right? So that get answered. And that Pietro is an imposter and all of that stuff. And the thing about how the sword guy is a bit of a bad hombre. But I mean, I still there's just questions remaining about Agatha Harkness motivation, because that's is so weird, right? Because why would she want Wanda under this control? Because okay, so she puts Wanda under the control, right? But it's not a full control, because Wanda could control a lot of aspects of that reality. I mean, she's the one who enhanced it. She's the one who rewinds it when something goes wrong. All of that stuff, right? So perhaps Agatha's power is really more one about mind manipulation and less about reality warping. But then it's if she put Wanda up to do this reality, then why is she trying to undermine Wanda's enjoyment of it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very mysterious, and I'm confused about how much control she has over Wanda also.
Yeah, right?
Because I guess how can she both be the one who is doing these interviews with Wanda and really setting everything up, but at the same time Wanda is the one who is deciding what happens? It's always is Wanda not deciding anything?
Yeah, but that is not the case, right? I mean, Wanda is deciding stuff for sure. Yeah, but it really is the question about how much of the control is Wanda and how much is Agnes or Agatha, and also why is Agatha simultaneously giving her, or simultaneously participating in creating this reality for Wanda and undermining it. You know, it's all very mysterious.
Yeah. Okay, well, so that's, I think, the big reflections.
Yeah.
I feel in general, you're very interested in, where the plot is going,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm always more interested in, just, what's going on. So I just want to share some of my favorite things I thought that were, going on in this episode. So, one thing I really liked was, Darcy. I mean, what's her name? Kat Dennings. She's just such, a unique lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that they put her in the Marvel universe and just let her be Darcy. She's a bit Jack Black or something, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you could just put them anywhere and have them, like, be themselves, and it's just, like, bringing a lot of zest.
Yeah.
I feel like Kat Dennings, she's not really, like, very Marvel-y, but she has...
What else has she been in?
She was in that rom-com Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I've seen
Oh,
her. She
okay,
was in this show Two Broke Girls. I haven't seen it that much.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but I just feel like she has like a very unique way of being, and they're really like letting her just be the way she is, and it's really fun to see her interact with people in the Marvel universe, like her and Vision. It's just like very silly.
Yeah, that was very silly.
It's like very silly naturally. That's amazing. Obviously, like, I thought, like, Monica's superhero reveal was just, like, so cool. It was so inspirational. Cool. I like having a black lady superhero also. I like that she has this, like, the pain is me backstory. Like, that's very cool. She looks very cool. I really appreciated that. What else I like? I mean, I like this thing about, like, Pietro, like, being an imposter, and he's just, like, gone out of the episode. I thought that was just, like, fun.
Yeah, but in the end he returned. In the post-credit scene, like, he's back.
Yeah, but he's, like, not with Wanda anymore. Whereas in the previous episode, he was, like, in their house. So I like that.
But it's so weird, right? Because it's, like... Sorry, just, like... Because... Did Agatha give this, like, imposter Pietro super speed? Because we saw him with super...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was curious about also. Yeah, I don't know. But that's why I think... I don't understand really, like, what's going on.
Yeah, me neither. Because it's like, if Agatha could give him super speed, like, literally imbue another random human. Let's say that's what they're doing, and the fact that it just happened.
I don't think that's what they're doing.
Okay, you don't think
I don't think she's a random human and he's been imbued with super speed.
No, okay, so you think... Okay.
I mean, I think that maybe it's like this multiverse explanation is much more likely.
Yeah, so she...
Because, like, Agatha, she doesn't seem to, like, be able to really control anybody.
Right?
So I don't think,
She doesn't seem to be able to control, like, reality in that way. Because she can get, like, surprised. In previous episodes, we've seen her get surprised when, like, Wanda does some stuff with reality. You know? Okay, but I mean, I agree. I don't think Pietro is just a regular human imbued with power. But then it's like, how did she get him here, Agatha? And like... Yeah, sorry, I just, I interrupt your flow, but I just so many questions, I feel like with this show, like, the questions keep growing as the answers keeps growing, and it's making me a bit worried that, like, in the end... They won't, like, manage to wrap it up.
I don't think that they will wrap it up. I think it's just a setup for the multiverse of madness, right? I don't think that, or they're gonna also, like, the next whole phase of the MCU, I don't think that it's really gonna, like, everything will be resolved and happiness in the Marvel universe.
It's gonna be so frustrating.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it's like, so, like, I'm normally... obviously, like, I like to have things end also, but I really feel like with this show, for some reason, I'm really just, like, enjoying it so much, and I really don't feel, like, this, like, need for the resolution or this, like, burning desire to have the questions answered in the same way, because I feel like, the questions are all, like, artificial, because there's no need for any of this to be happening, do you know what I mean? So it's like... It's like there's some big... plot hole in the Marvel universe that needs to get finished in order for things to be concluded. I feel like to me it feels very natural that now they're, like, bringing up just a whole bunch of stuff, because it's like they had a very, very neat, very clear conclusion with Endgame. Like, it was concluded. So it's like, I guess, like, I don't feel like there's this big build up to, like, this is, like, the opening phase, not the closing phase.
No, I mean, that makes, like, perfect sense. I just, like, I guess, I just want to know stuff, like, what's going on, because, I mean, look at that, why is she so powerful? How can she, because in the end, it just seemed like she really ensnared Wanda, like, again. So... Yeah, and also, was she the one doing the interview format with Vision also, or was, I don't know, it's just... Yeah,
right? I mean, it must have been, because it was like, the thing was, during the whole episode, right? I was like really confused. I was like, why is Vision being so weird? Because in the beginning he kept trying to like talk to Darcy instead of just like zapping her, you know? And then it was like eventually he did like zap her, but it was like, why was he doing that? And the same like, why were they wasting time with this like truck? And so it was like obviously very mysterious. And then he was like, why am I doing this interview? So it was like, definitely she seems to be mind controlling him. I could also imagine that it was like Agatha then who like maybe set up, because I remember like last week we were talking about like why was this like really creepy on the Halloween periphery with the people doing things in this really creepy way.
Oh yeah, that's
I feel like that could be like Agatha set that up, and that's why she was out there also.
That makes sense. That's a good point.
Because she was like setting the stage for Vision to get really like creeped out.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about how it made no sense really for people to be like out.
Yeah, exactly.
But not doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is like an answer, and then like in this Agatha theme song, we've seen that she needs to have some degree of proximity to control.
Yeah.
So then it would make sense why she was out there,
That's
because she
true.
was like setting up this scene for Vision to get really spooked out.
Yeah.
Then my question is like, what does Agatha know about this like cataract project? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, is it like they know nothing of each other? Is she like a competing force? Do you know what I mean? Because Agatha clearly has been like a force throughout the whole show in like dismantling Wanda's reality, right?
Yeah.
In front of Vision.
Yes.
From like the first time when I said like, oh, she's so creating havoc with this, oh, do you want me to do it again? Like really pushing his face into it. Then she was like making sure that the guy, he was like sawing through the wall, right? And she was like talking to Vision. Then she was set up this like spooky Halloween fest for Vision and like, you know, pretended like she knew like nothing.
Yeah.
So I feel like she is very focused on Vision much more than she's on Wanda in a way.
That is true. That's a good point.
So then it's like, is this then the whole show, is it about like the battle for like Visions? Like what does Agatha want with Vision? It's like, or does Agatha maybe believe, I don't know. So I feel like there's definitely something there, like why Agatha has been so focused on Vision, but I felt like there was a big answer that she's the one who's been like setting up a lot of this.
So then like the natural question now is, right, do you think that like someone, like that there is this like Agatha Mephisto connection? Because like in one way they really made it clear that Agatha is like a villain here, right? But in another way it was like the theme song, you know, at the end where, you know, it's like Agatha's done it all, whatever, you know, that song. It was like they were very explicit to say that she has been behind it all, you know. Do you think that's like a misdirection or them just confirming that it's what's
I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about the Mephisto thing. I'm not binging this like comic book video, so
true.
I don't know anything about it. And I mean, Herb, he was being really weird, right? But that could have been a setup by Agnes. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's any deeper level to it. But I do like Wanda also. So has Agnes just been the one that has like created Wanda's kids and then she like disappeared then?
Right? Yeah.
Because she was there during the delivery. No?
She was.
It was Monica who helped.
It was Monica who helped, I think. But she was there in proximation to it, definitely, right? Yeah. Yeah, what does she want with the kids? What does she want, you know? Is it like, is she gonna try to trade them at the end for Wanda staying in that reality, for part of Wanda's power? There's so many possibilities.
Yeah.
You know?
But I just think like, Agnes, she must have been like controlling Wanda's kids more than we realize, right? I don't know.
I think so, but oh no, imagine if the kids, like if Wanda doesn't get to be with her kids. That's gonna be so sad. That's gonna be like so sad.
Yeah, the kids were really cute also.
They're so cute. They're such good actors. Speaking of good acting, I mean Elizabeth Olsen is
oh my god, she's so good at acting.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So good.
How did they get her to like do this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean she's just really, really good at acting.
Yeah, it's amazing. Wow. I mean just everything is so on point. Like she has such range. Like there's just so much depth.
Yeah.
It's really like incredible.
It is. I mean, she's like. I mean, the MCU are really lucky to have her. I mean, if they know what's up, they'll like really build the next phase.
I mean, I guess
around
that's
her.
why they put her in the first
Yeah.
show, and I mean they've put in so much resources into this show
Yeah.
because I guess like they know what they have
Yeah,
with her.
They put in so much resources. They got the Modern Family couch.
Yeah. I think that was really fun because we have recently watched Modern Family, so it was really fun that this episode was the Modern Family influenced episode because it was like they had the plates and the kitchen and stuff. So I liked it because I was like you could really recognize it.
Yeah.
That was really fun. And then speaking of influence, I think one thing we really wanted to talk about was just like Legion and how WandaVision is borrowing so much from Legion.
So much.
And it was like when we watched Legion, it was like, well, this is just the best show that has ever been made. Right?
We still think that Legion is like probably the best show we watched.
I mean, it's the most like artistic show I have ever seen by far. Like nothing can top the artistry of Legion. And then when we watched it, we were like, well, this is so ahead of its time and this is so creative. So obviously it's going to have this trickle effect and everything will be like Legion 5 years from now. But I guess that's happening quite quickly because I mean, and I feel like they've been like sneaking in like Legion influences, but here with this ending theme song with Agatha, I just felt like that was such a direct Legion reference, while at the same time not really copying anything directly from Legion. But I think that's kind of what made it so tricky because it's like, I mean, it's such a Legion move to take like a really big emotional reveal because like it's super emotional if you discover that actually Elizabeth Olsen hasn't been the ultimate villain and Agnes is not only like a witch who's there maybe doing something but like literally creating this like suffering for her like a woman who we were just reminded how much she's suffering and being tortured. So it's like if we just recalled how much she is like suffering, then to like find out that she's being tortured by this lady, I mean, it's super dark. But then they make it into this like funny, upbeat theme song. Like that's not a Disney move. That's not a Marvel move. They couldn't have come up with that.
They didn't.
I mean, it reminds us. I mean, definitely like the obvious reference to me in Legion is like the rap battle, right? In the end,
or the song numbers.
Oh my god. I mean, any song numbers, but for me, it really felt a bit like the rap battle because the rap battle was used as kind of a plot resolution device, and here it's again this like the secret is out, and this is kind of fun, but it's not fun at all. It's like super dark, but it's like it is fun because I guess the point is like it is from Agnes's perspective. It is fun for her. So it's like it doesn't feel like totally wrong that it's fun, but it also feels like so horrible that it's like fun and lighthearted because I mean this is just like so poor Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, no, definitely. They borrowed a lot from Legion. I mean, you can see it in like many episodes. We talked about that before. This whole thing about the kids growing up fast, and I mean, there's been many other things, but it's hard to say like how much like that they really like taken from Legion and how much I know it's like the culture of filmmaking is like moving in that direction because like Legion opened up the door. But this one that we talked about, I mean, that was definitely
the song. It has to be inspired.
But again, just going back to like Agatha, it's like I thought it was like interesting that when Agatha came out to stop the kind of fight between Wanda and Monica Rambeau. Like first, I thought it was interesting that she did that, right? It was like she didn't want the fight to occur. But secondly, when she did it, there was like some sympathy there, I thought, from her directed towards Wanda, because it was this like this poor woman has been through so much already, So then like once she walked into the house, I was like, okay, so perhaps this person is like on Wanda's side to some extent.
No, but I thought the sympathy seemed very like fake, kind of to just gain Wanda's trust. To me, it didn't feel like genuine concern. It felt more like she understood that Wanda was like being really shaken by the event, and she just wanted to like kind of swoop in. But I think like what was interesting now that since we're talking for so long and I'm like kind of processing in the back of my mind it is like so many questions I've had about the show are being answered. Because remember, like with the Vision gum thing, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was so bizarre.
That was very bizarre. Yeah.
And I think like we chalked it up to kind of like, well, it was really bizarre because like it's just a bizarre world, you know, bizarre things happen. But now it's like that was just like her way of basically like messing with like Vision and Wanda.
Yeah.
So it's like it really clarifies for me what happened in that scene, because otherwise it was just like, oh, random chaos, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, in hindsight, a lot of things like make more sense now. But it's also like some things like make less sense also.
Like what?
Because I just think that, like, so for example, Wanda, she was the one who reversed, like, the bee. You know, when the sword agent who turns into a beekeeper comes there. And she was the one who threw out Monica Rambeau the first time. And those were all her actions. But it's like, if Agatha is also there, and she's, like, manipulating Wanda's interaction with reality to a rather significant extent, it means that there's, like, a path of manipulation that she wants, because it leads to something. Then it's like, why hasn't she been more proactive, do you know, in like making sure that the beekeeper didn't appear, or making sure that like Monica Rambeau wasn't like interfering?
Well, I think that's the thing though, right? Is that Agatha, then I think that suggests that Agatha is not working with Sword.
Yeah.
And that it is like two competing actors fighting for Vision, basically.
Yeah.
Or Vision and Wanda.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, yeah, so she cannot like, and she doesn't have the power Wanda does vis-a-vis like the outside world, because she doesn't have this reality power. So like Wanda has freedom in the way she kind of interacts with these like external things.
Yeah. So
but it also,
No, so then it makes sense that there is something about how perhaps like Agatha like made Wanda create this reality based like on a desire Wanda had, but Wanda has been the one like perpetuating it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess she's been the one perpetuating it.
Oh my god, where is this all gonna end up?
I was just gonna say, like, the last thing also that really was, like, clarified for me was that, you know, Agatha, she killed, like, the dog, right? Because that was, like, another time when, like, Wanda's family members are, like, confronted with Wanda's, like, limitations, powers, questions, right? Because she was like, oh, this dog is dead, and it's, like, a bad thing that happened to your kids. Like, are you gonna fix it for them, you know?
Yeah.
So I just think it's, like, really interesting to see that things have happened through this, like, reframe of, like, Agatha doing them. But, of course, it raises the question of, like, why is she doing these things? Like, what does she want to get out of it? So I guess that is like what we will find out next. Is like what she wants to get out.
Yeah, I can't wait. I just want to raise one thing that I thought was like that I actually don't think like it's a bit like, I don't know, not like bad, but that like to me is a bit like underdeveloped. So I think like I really like the Monica Rambeau character. She's really good. It doesn't, I don't feel like it makes super much sense like why she's on Wanda's side, really, if you think about it. It's like, because she worked with this like sword agency for a long time. It was like her mother's project. She obviously knows the like leader of Sword. I mean, she was like mind controlled by Wanda, and we all know that that's like awful by all means of indications. But simultaneously, she's so willing to like view the Sword people as the bad guys and Wanda as the good one. I don't think there's any like special like, oh, why is this the case? I just think that part is a bit like not the strongest part of the show, you know? It's a bit weak. Just so you know, since we're praising it so much.
No, I agree. No, I think it's a good point. I thought of like one really marginal point. Oh, and that's totally unrelated.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, you know, because I've been so obsessed with why were those Halloween people being so creepy. And I think like this episode, the circus people, they were not at all being creepy.
Yes,
they were like running around. They had like they had like a full thing going on.
Yeah.
So really like, it confirms more my hypothesis that like this creepiness was like staged. By Agnes.
Yeah, no, that makes
Vision.
perfect sense. Yeah.
And then, but this time, it's like she doesn't need to convince him of the creepiness anymore. So it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a really interesting thing to like notice, that the circus thing was functioning super perfectly. So it's not that Wanda has this really limited radius where she can function.
So quick prediction. Let's do a quick prediction
Okay.
for next episode. What do you think will happen next episode?
I don't know. I think we're just gonna I guess Vision is going to fight. Vision is going to fight Agnes for Wanda. Sword is gonna launch their whatever they're gonna launch.
The cataract or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah. So something is gonna happen there, and I mean I think Darcy is gonna do something. Do you know what I mean? Because they have set her up as a very powerful person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She's just not there just to be silly. She's allowed to be silly because she's doing shit. So I feel she's gonna really move the plot forward somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my intuition.
Yeah. I think
obviously Monica is gonna fight with Vision.
Yes.
Yeah, she's gonna be on Vision's side. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel like the big prediction I have for next week is that there will be something about a trade, between Wanda's kids for something else. I feel like I agree with everything you say, and I kind of think Monica Rambeau and Vision will prevail, and they will free Wanda. And it will be that when Wanda is freed from the mind control and she knows that this lady can mind control. So I don't think I don't think Vision and Monica Rambeau can take down Agatha, but I think they can sufficiently stall her as to free Wanda. And then when Wanda is aware that Agatha can do mind control, she can block that, and she will be able to really take out Agatha. But then Agatha at the end of the episode, it will be Agatha will make this point that she wants X, and if she gets X, Wanda gets her kids, and that will be the big conclusion of that episode, and then the final episode will be about whether the trade occurs or whether it can be avoided.
I mean, the final episode has to be setting up for the multiverse, right?
Yeah. Alright, but I think nothing to do now but suffer in agony another week as we wait for a new episode to occur.
Okay, yeah, thank you for watching.
Yeah. Ciao.
Bye.